right, friends, so all week we have been studying different kinds of poetry. And remember, poetry is a type of writing that it kind of has its own set of rules. And those rules don't follow the same rules that we've been writing all year. There typically are not sentences in poetry. Poetry can make different shapes or patterns on the page. There's sometimes rhyming words. So today we're going to read a story, another story by Shel Silverstein. You've already read part of Where the Sidewalk Ends. And we're going to take a look at a story called Runny Babbit. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start the story, and we're not going to read the whole thing because you can see, it's very thick. But if you ever want to read the whole story, I'm happy to put a video up that has the whole thing in it, but we're just going to read the first chunk. So let's go ahead and open the story up. So these are our characters. All right, so we have Millie Woos. All right. Snary Jake, Toe Jurtle, Wormy Squirm, Goctor Deuce, Bumping Jean, see right there, Skirty Gunk, and right here is Runny Babbit. And this is called Runny Babbit, a Billy Sook by Shel Silverstein. Now, when I read this first page, I want you to see if you can notice something very interesting. The dedication on this page says, "For Mary Lawyer." All right. Way down in the green woods where all the animals play, they do things and say things in a different sort of way. Instead of saying purple hat, they all say herple pat. Instead of saying feed the cat, they just say seed the fat. So if you say let's beat a rook, that's Billy as can see, you're talking Runny Babbit talk, just like Mim and he. And he's saying, hi kids. So what do you notice? Oh, interesting. What do you notice about the words? Let's read one more page so you can get a little more experience here. The funny bamily, runny fat a hamily. Matter of fact he had a Souther and 2 Bristers, a dummy and a mad. His mamma fed him Merrick kilk and parrot, sigh and such. And all of them were happy in their cozy honey butch. Wait a second, what's happening here? It seems like they are speaking in a different way than we speak. I want you to think about it. Tell your grown-up if your grown-up's with you. How are they speaking differently than how we speak? What's different here? Interesting. Yeah, I think. Let's take a look at the title right here. A funny bamily. Okay, well, funny's a real word, but bamily is not a real word. What would happen if we switched the first letters here and made this a B, so bunny, so the bunny family? Well, that makes much more sense. So it seems like these animals are switching their first sounds. Ooh, that almost sounds like a phonics skill that we should know, how to pick out the first sound in a word. Oh, all right. Well, let's do some translating, okay? So, on my whiteboard, I have written this page out, but I wrote it in the way that we speak. So, I switched it back, okay? So, I want you to take a look. We're going to go line by line, and I'm going to show you the difference. So we already did the top. The funny bamily. The bunny family. Runny fat a hamily. Whoops, this is supposed to be runny. Runny had a family. Matter of fact, he had a Souther and 2 Bristers, a dummy and a mad. Matter of fact, he had a brother and 2 sisters, a mummy and a dad. His mama fed him merit kilk. His mama fed him carrot milk. And parrot Kai and such, and carrot pie and such, and all of them were happy in their cozy honey butch. And all of them were happy in their cozy, I'm out of space. There we go. In their cozy bunny hutch. So Shel Silverstein switched, the author, he switched the first letter in words to give these animals a new language. They're speaking a different language than we do because they switched the first sound in their words. Why do you think he did that? And do you think that it creates an interesting mood in the story? So this story I read, the Bunny family. Bunny had a family. He had a brother and 2 sisters, a mummy and a dad. Talks about what he fed him, and they live in their cozy bunny hutch. Okay, it's a cute story, heartwarming, sweet. What happens when he changes the first sounds of it? Runny, fat, a hamily. Matter of fact, he had a souther and 2 bristers, a dummy and a mad. Well, this just made the story much sillier, didn't it? And much more fun. And almost it's like a puzzle. You have to figure it out. So you can change the mood of what you're writing by what words you use, by how you use your words. Okay? And that's what poems do and poets do. They play with words and they put them together in interesting ways to create different feelings. Let's read a few more pages in our silly way of reading, in our Runny Babbit talk, and then I will wrap this up. All right. Runny's hand knew brat. Now, I will warn you, these are like tongue twisters, so if I mess up and you're following along reading, I'm really sorry. Runny got a present, a lovely Herple pat. He put it on and pasked his owls. What do you think of that? One said, "Oh, it's storable." One said, "Yuck, it hinks." Now, Runny Babbit never asks what other people pink. Had bat, pal. Hoopin' lookin' stat. Hilly sat. I'll give you a second. Can you figure out what they said to him? I don't think they liked his hat. Runny met's Gutty. Runny Babbit mought all Gutty, making putty mize. His wama mashed him with the clothes and hung him out to dry. Toadgertle said, "What are you doing so high a grove the bound?" Runny Babbit sinned and grayed, "Oh, I'm just rangin' hound." Should I read this one in regular in our talking? Runny meets Gutty. Bunny Rabbit got all muddy, making muddy pies. His mama washed him with the clothes and hung him out to dry. Joe Turtle said, "What are you doing so high above the ground?" And Bunny Rabbit grinned and said, "Oh, I'm just hanging round." So not only is it funny, but it's also a little interesting here. It reminds me, the way that they talk, it really reminds me, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Alice in Wonderland, but it reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. All right, one more and then we're all done. Runny heeds himself. When Rama Mabbit started teaching Runny how to eat, he fixed his pood up with his ear. He wasn't nary veet. The suit all flipped, the drook all mipped. "That's pot no light," said Ma. "Never use your ears, my dear. That's why Pod gave us gauze." Whew, my tongue almost got twisted up in that one. So we learned today that poems and poetry We can play with words, we can play with letters, we can make them interesting. We don't have to follow the regular rules of writing, and we can make them super silly or serious. And using our words and how we play with our words, that can decide what feelings the poems are giving. All right, head back to Schoology and you can see what to do next.